very good morning to you. Thank you so very much for staying with us here on Global Television. This is how we welcome you very, very specially to Global Morning. It's a big new working week that's upon us right now already. What more can we say than to stay grateful for the gift of life? There's no better time to be alive than right now. So let's put on that gratitude or attitude of gratitude, as I say, so we can continue to push against the headwinds. I'm Uyi Agumofwegbe. As always, it's a delight to have you join us here every other morning on the program.
Thank you very much, Uyi. It's good to be here on Global Morning
once
again. How's your weekend? If you had one, actually.
Well, for the first time in a long while, I did have a weekend.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. You know, we were here on Saturday.
Right.
You know, but the most beautiful thing about the whole thing is that you are trying to make other people happy.
Right.
You know, other people find their footings, and of course, you are also trying to put one or two things in place around you. You know, as a family man and someone who is having a lot of people connected to. You know how it is.
Right.
But the most important thing is that we are here this morning again to bring you another very wonderful edition of Global Morning. So many things happening. Let me not ask, because you were not in Anambra State, even though you were following it.
I think it's Aliese Patrick who is going to give us a full dose of that.
But it's like, should I call you a prophet? Because you know you said something about Soludo.
Well, I know I said a couple of things about the election. It's quite interesting, really. But this weekend was eventful. Global Television did an amazing work, all thanks to our team on the ground there in Anambra State, led by Aliese Patrick, for all of the amazing stories and updates that we've seen so far. I mean, the results are in, as I say, winner has been declared. We can continue to have the back and forth about how the election went, about the process, the things we observed. But as it stands today, we know that the incumbent governor of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, Chukwuma Charles Soludo, has won the election. So we hope that this doesn't also end up in courts, as has always been the case. But then there are several things that, again, were highlighted in the course of this electoral process. One of them is that APGA is traditionally, Anambra is traditionally an APGA state. Maybe some persons have thought for a couple of reasons there will be, if you like, a departure from the norm. Maybe a different party would win this time, but of course that didn't happen. This was landslide, really. I mean, if you look at the numbers. The APC candidate, Prince Ukachukwu, didn't even score up to 100, whereas the winner, APGA candidate Charles Chukwuma Soludo, had won well over 400,000. So the closest rival, as they say, the first runner-up, didn't even get up to 25% of Soludo's vote. So that was landslide. And you know, as they always would say, for those who know how to crunch the numbers, for you to even rig an election and win by this margin, it means you must have been substantially popular. I mean, assuming, without considering that anybody rigged the election. But again, like I said, a winner has been announced. And the top priority right now, number one priority, must be how do we move Anambra from where it is today to where it should be. The governor now has done virtually 4 years in office, because in a couple of weeks there will be a swearing in, which will mark the end of a 4-year term and the start of another 4-year term. So it's now been time for India Anambra to put in front of them, and indeed in front of the governor, the promises he made to them 4 years ago, and then use that as a basis to challenge him to do more for the people in the next 4 years.
Are you talking about the promise of making Anambra
Dubai?
Nigeria, Dubai. Well, a lot of people have said so many things about the election, but one thing stood out for me, and that's the fact that while we're monitoring, following situations from Anambra on Saturday, most of the people that spoke to us, both our own correspondents that was on ground and other civil society organization members, they said it was peaceful as at that time, but later on Sunday, you know, but then we'll begin to hear pocket of information that they were though Saturday we heard of the voters' apathy. Then on Sunday, getting to the evening of Saturday, we'll start hearing of vote buying. which INEC said nothing like that happened. Then civil society organizations are saying, well, it happened, and some other persons. But then, I think, like you said, let's just keep our fingers crossed and see if this will also end up in court. But I don't think so, looking at the margin, because the margin is so much. It's either APGA did their underground work, because the campaign and the conscientization, the enlightenment, a lot had to happen before the very day of the election. So if Soludo is returning back again with that margin, then we should be thinking of what's next. Are we expecting from Ndi Anambra and of course Soludo himself? But then turning Anambra to Dubai, I think it's a gradual process. Maybe this 4 years, he will use these 4 years to tell the people that I am a promise keeper. I'll keep to my promise. But let's just keep our fingers crossed, because a lot of people are waiting to see if this will go the way of Amopitan. Because he said one of his targets is to ensure that opponents don't go to court. All right, see how he can get rid of litigation, election litigations and all of that.
Right.
But then, one of the things that Nigerians are also looking forward to is that time where we'll see people call their opponents to congratulate them and concede defeat. And of course, the people themselves saying our vote actually counted in this election.
That's a brilliant way to put it. Well, the election is going to also be a talking point for a while to come, because results have just been announced about 24 hours ago. Plus, there have been those who are saying, well, they have concerns around how the election turned out, including the candidates of the YPP now alleging several other things, saying that the election was fraudulent in terms of the process and all of that. But again, regardless of what the INEC chairman has said, these gentlemen still have the right to proceed on the path of litigation if that route is what suits them, or what they feel will eventually, if you like, placate them. All right, let's take a quick break. When we return, we'll talk a little more, but in the meantime, we're bringing you motivation. All right, interestingly, we're going to bring you motivation in a bit, but there are a few other things happening. The federal government, of course, during Federal Executive Council meeting, has now approved a bunch of policies. These policies, we understand, are proposals from the Ministry of Trade and Investment, Industry, Trade and Investment, I should say, where you have Dr. Jumoke Oduwole. And we understand with this approval, it means that the digital economy is going to run better. There's going to be a more effective framework to help galvanize the implementation of this policy. Because whether you like it or not, Nigeria holds a lot of potential in the digital economy, but you also need a system that is effective and forward-thinking to drive that. And that's the reason you realize that even broadcasting, as we know it, has moved for the most part to the internet now.
Yeah, of course. I think the most important thing is having the drivers, human drivers, people that will drive these ideas. Because Nigeria have a lot of potentials,
right,
a lot of opportunities right in front of us. We have some in our hands as it is. But then the drivers, who will make these things happen? Most times we hear these things on paper. But if we have the round peg in round holes and square pegs in square holes, I think it's going to go a long way. If there's any area to give so much attention right now, it's the digital economy. Because a lot of things going on, all right? The world is becoming a global village. And as a matter of fact, if you must belong, if you must break the stones and get your powder out of it, you must align with what is happening right now, because Nigeria cannot do everything in isolation. And if you must do this thing in collaboration with other countries, other economies, then there is this need and necessity for alignment. How do we do that? Is giving all of these things the necessary consideration and attention that it needed. How can that happen? When we have the right people who know what they are doing and who are result-oriented.
Great. All right, talking about result-orientedness, I think it's time we also get you that motivation so you can begin to think in terms of results. Let's join Ramsey now for motivational segment.
If you want to grow, there needs to be preparation for times of discomfort. My name is Ramsey Enoch Agbo, and today I want to let you know that success is achievable. You can do it. All right? The times are changing. So many things are happening. But you need to know that comfort is the enemy of growth. That's it. That's what we want to look at today. The truth is this. Everyone wants comfort, but then there is an amount of work that you need to put into yourself, into whatever it is that you feel you need to be comfortable. Therefore, comfort is the enemy of growth. If you want to grow, you need to welcome some level of discomfort. If you don't want to grow, just sit in one place and be in the euphoria of comfort, as the case may be. Now, if it doesn't challenge you, it cannot change you. That's the truth. If it doesn't challenge you, it does not have the capacity to change you. Whatever does not challenge you does not have the capacity to change you. And that's the reason most times you see people who are being challenged, all right, by a particular circumstance. They say, wow, look at this young man. Look at what this young man is doing. Look at what this young lady is doing. Wow, I'm being challenged. I can do it. I can do it. Whatever that does not challenge you cannot change you. Because if you're being challenged by a particular thing, there is a level of effort you put into turning that thing to your advantage. Comfort feels good, yeah? It's safe, yeah? Familiar and easy. But if there is a truth that we need to know, that comfort is a cage dressed like luxury. That's what comfort is. That is the definition of comfort. It is a cage that is dressed like luxury. It is not luxury. It's just being dressed like luxury. It is not luxury. That thing you're calling comfort today, that comfort zone that you don't want to get out of, it's a cage. It's not luxury. It's not. This is one thing that we need to know. Every successful man have gone through thick and thin. Everyone you see comfortable today, they had times when they were drinking garri. Some never even had the garri to drink. So what we're looking at as comfort today is merely a cage that has strapped you down, dressed like a luxury. It's not luxury. You can remain in that thing you call comfort, and before you know, you are 30 years. Before you know, you are 40, and you can no longer achieve the things you would have achieved that period that you felt you were in comfort. That thing is just cage. It's a cage. You need to break out of it. You need to allow yourself come out of it. This is a personal decision. Sometimes you don't even need people. In fact, this is the truth. That thing that you think is comfort, that thing you think is luxury, all right? If anyone even want to talk you out of it, you look at them as, oh, enemy of progress. You want me to go and suffer. You want me to go and suffer. No, my daddy, I'm in my daddy's house. And let me enjoy. Let me do this. No. You need to learn. And parents also need to hear this. You're not doing your children good. You think you're pampering them. You think it is comfort, but you are caging them. What if you're not there? We've had situations whereby A man died very rich, a woman died very rich, leave a lot of wealth, right, for the children. But the children couldn't manage it because they don't know the source of this wealth. They don't know how this wealth was gotten. So there was no continuity because these children were caged in what they call comfort, in luxury. I'm trying to make us know that the truth is always the truth. You need to challenge yourself. Comfort is the enemy of growth. If you want to grow, you need to get out of your comfort zone. Sometimes it's not easy. The amount of time you put into a particular thing will determine the amount of result you will get out of that very particular thing. Every time you choose comfort, you postpone your growth. That's the truth. Every time you choose comfort, you postpone. See, that minute, time doesn't wait for anyone. That's the truth. Time doesn't wait for you. Time doesn't wait for anyone. That 1 minute you spent in your comfort zone is a limitation to your growth. If you were out there trying to see how you can get to the other level, you will grow. Every time you choose a challenge, you stretch your potential. Look at the seed. I don't know. I just feel like using the seed as an example. It must break to grow. It must get rotten in the ground. Even the Bible said it. It said, except the seed fall to the ground and die, it remained alone. It remained alone. But when it gets to the soil, it's been beaten by the sun, then the rain will come on it, then it will germinate. First of all, it gets rotten in the soil. It gets heated by the sun in the soil before it grows. Then one day, they call it a harvest period. That same seed germinates, grew, brought up fruit, brought up tubers of yam, in fact, there are so many things we need to do so that we can grow, as a matter of fact. Let me tell you, let's say for instance, a butterfly must struggle out of its cocoon to fly. And you must also step into discomfort to become who you were born to be. When some people have a lot of testimony, a lot of things to say, maybe when it got started, the story was very, very tedious. But I want you to know that you can get out of it and you forget about the story. When the glory comes, you forget the story. But for every glory, there is a story. You don't need to forget about that. So that story must be there, all right, to make the glory valuable. So get out of that thing you're calling comfort zone. The growth zone is always outside your comfort zone. Discomfort is a sign that something inside you is expanding. That comfort. Do you know that some people learn, all right? Some people learn from their experience. If it is a bad experience, you can learn from it. If it is a good experience, you can learn from it. So I want you to know today that discomfort is a sign that something inside of you is about expanding. So take advantage of that time. Growth requires growth, like they say, requires stretching mentality, emotionally, spiritually, so that the next time you feel nervous, afraid, or uncertain, don't run from it. All right? Don't run from it. Don't run from those challenges. Some challenges are meant to make you and not to mar you. Lead on. That's where your transformation begins. And as a matter of fact, choose challenges over comfort today, because the pain of discipline weighs on this, all right? The weight of discipline. Some people, when they are being disciplined, they say, they hate me. They hate me. But that discipline is to make you, except if it is out of some form of bad intention. But God sees every intention. No one wants to punish you because of any negative intention. But the pain of regret waits turns. Step out, grow, and become the version of yourself that comfort could never create. create, but challenges created them. Congratulations. I am going to be seeing you at the other side of success. We will all get there, but then get out of your comfort zone. Face the challenges. Take the discipline. Take the correction. No one have the monopoly of knowledge. All of us are work in progress, heading for a destination, and that's where success and growth meets, and of course, that makes a champion. Thank you very much. My name is Ramsey Enoch. Many thanks for watching this episode.
Well, thank you so very much, Ramsey. Of course, today's first working day of the week, and we all need that sort of motivation, that energy driven into us, so we can start out the week on a productive note. Now, time to look at the papers for you.
Welcome back. It's time for us to take you through the national dailies and see what the headlines are saying this morning. Beginning from the New Telegraph. On the New Telegraph this morning, we have a couple of headlines, and this one is above the nameplate, which says CBN, value of Nigeria's food product imports down 23.8% to $2.59 billion. Interest. Banks commence 10% withholding tax deduction on T-bills. Now below the nameplate, I don't think ADC has answer. All right, answer to what? Answer to Nigeria's challenges. This is coming from Shetima. I won't write it to that story. It says, as SDP leadership crisis deepen, 14 years after, AMCON returns to Napa to Cross River government. Why Amopitan persists in justice sector by lawyers. Why corruption, I beg your pardon, persists in justice sector by lawyers. If this is interesting, you can pick a copy of the New Telegraph to really know what that is all about. And now let's quickly look at the big story on the New Telegraph this morning, which says Soludo re-elected Anambra governor with 422,664 votes, INEC declares. Some writers to that story, actually, and the first writer says, ahead Ukachukwu Chukwuma, 14 others, as Moghalu ADC rejects result over missing LP logo on ballot, alleged vote buying. The second writer says that Tinubu allowed Soludo's re-election, pledges federal government support. NGF, Kalu Ngige, others congratulate winner. Details of that you can find on page 2, 4, 5, 6, and 7. NNPCL, others reduce fuel pump price. BBC DG News CEO resign over Trump's documentary edit. The federal government condemns sabotage on Abuja-Kaduna-Kano Road. Details on page 4. This one says an answer to federal government. Respect pact. Stop threatening us with no work, no pay. And this one says that Trump's threat. That's the kicker. NSCIA false targeted killings claim says its agenda to destabilize Nigeria. Some riders to that story, and the first rider says presidency. Nigeria recorded 81% drop in terror-related death since 2015. Don't joke with Trump's threat. Security expert tells Tinubu, says corruption, nepotism, hindering Nigeria's counter-terrorism effort. That's coming from experts. And finally, from the New Telegraph this morning, this one says study links fluoride to broad health risk. This is very interesting. Just pick a copy of the New Telegraph and go through the headlines.
Thank you, Ramsey. Time to turn to the Nigerian Tribune for you. We begin, as always, from the headlines above the nameplate. Top right first says concerns as loan sharks re-emerge. We thought these issues were already being dealt with by the FCC, PC, and other agencies. But what are the writers saying? Resort to blackmail intimidation for loan recoveries. We will go after them, FCC, PC assures. Advises Nigerians to stop patronizing them. Fuel import tariff will strengthen Naira's poor investment. That's according to NECA. All right. What's more, the Star headline, PDP, SDP, LP, ADC rejects Anambra Nguba result. Tinubu others congratulate Soludo. Serap to INEX hand over Anambra vote buyers, sponsors to EFCC, ICPC. I'll work for Anambra people. That's credited to Governor Chukwuma Soludo. And on the right, well, I should say on the left side of the paper, front page teal, Wike grants defaulters in Asokoro, Gariki Wuse, another 14 days to pay 5 million naira violation fee. And the clock apparently is already ticking. UK issues fresh travel warning to Borno, Yobe, Adamawa, 3 others over rising insecurity. No work, no pay, unjust, negates fair labor relations. That's NASU. NSCIA attributes security crisis to climate change, poverty, mass unemployment. Says CPC designation pretext to destabilize country. No Christian genocide in Nigeria, it declares. 90% of Nigerian land, real estate have defective titles. That's credited to senior lawyer, Chief Olisa Agbakoba, SAN. Proposes 3 reforms to unlock over 1.5 quadrillion. That's in Naira, 1.5 quadrillion Naira. That's a whole lot of money. It's pretty much like having 1 trillion Naira in 1,500 places. It's a whole lot of mathematics you need to do. But the point is clear. It just says that there's a whole lot of work to be done here. Also, there is a blessing waiting if, with a big if, we do that work, all right? Lastly, there's a headline that has to do with health here, and it has the details on page 2. It says, next cancer-fighting mRNA vaccine may already be here. Next cancer-fighting mRNA vaccine may already be here. Read up all of these details from the Nigerian Tribune today as we take you next to the First Daily newspaper.
All right, let's quickly look at the First Daily newspaper this morning. This one says, bandit leaders pledge to end attacks after peace parley in Katsina. Right, that sounds good. Police dismantle sex trafficking ring, rescue 15 young girls in Ondo. Anambra poll aftermath. Lagos APC touts Obi, forget 2027, your movement is dead. NDLEA smashes Colorado drug lab. That's a Colorado drug lab that was smashed, and they arrested Saudi-bound cartel leader in Lagos, meaning the people, some of the people behind this are not actually Nigerians. Abducted KB lawmaker rescued in coordinated security operations. Soludo, now the big story. Soludo wins big in Anambra. INEC declares ABGA candidates governor-elect. Some writers to that story. People's will prevailed, says triumphant Soludo. ABGA calls it Nigeria's most transparent election. Civil society and, of course, INEC will need to attest to that, though we're hearing from some quarters that election is better than some off-cycle elections that we've had in the past. The Tinubu sends message of unity, assures stronger ties. Right? Akash-drenched bazaar, ADC cakes. APC candidate cries foul, alleges thuggery, voter intimidation. You can see the picture of Soludo there, waving to the people. First term over, another next turn of another 4 term is coming on. Supreme Islamic Council rebukes Trump, says no Christian genocide in Nigeria. Soldiers open fire on policemen returning from Anambra election. Why? Get the details on the First Daily. Army kills 7 terrorists, arrest 27 others. That's good news. For you to get more details concerning this headline, speak a copy of the First Daily newspaper, and you get the details from there. Let's get to the next point of call now.
All right, so we're looking at the Nigerian News Direct next. Here it says REAMD named News Direct's Public Sector CEO of the Year. That's Rural Electrification Agency. All right, 14 killed, 30 abducted in renewed attacks on southern Kaduna in 1 week. That's according to Shokapu. Terror-related deaths have dropped by 81%. That's the presidency talking. In fact, they say the time frame in reference is 2015 till date, that terror-related deaths have declined very significantly. In fact, they say the number shows that it's by 81%. But again, all of these are reactive. The idea is to convince the U.S. to say that, look, we've been working on this a long time. It's just that it's quite a challenging situation we find ourselves in. But it doesn't feel so good that it will take the U.S. to have made this sort of move for us to be presenting all of these data. If the U.S. had not told this path, would Nigerians be told this? We're not even talking about the authenticity or otherwise of this figure, but we're looking at whether or not government is by default responsive, proactive, or even accountable to those who have gone the whole length, the whole hog, to put it in place in the first instance. Because we've seen in this country where even media houses, whether broadcast or print, have had to make some sort of requisition in terms of the Freedom of Information Act, for example, to ministries, departments, and agencies of all kinds of governments, whether at the federal or state level. In most cases, they don't respond, or they just respond abysmally. But now the U.S., all the way from off the shores of Africa, has just made a statement, released a video, and we are all jittering, running from pillar to post, and digging out statistics from all over the place. And it's just a reminder that we can do better as a country.
Yeah, it means we can do better. Well, I think some of this happening is beginning to make Nigerians feel like some of the things that they've heard in the past concerning sponsors, making the whole scenario political, sounds like maybe there might be an element of truth to that if all of this can be coming out now. Though it was alleged that we have some people in-house who are sponsors of this terrorist act.
Right.
But then, we've not seen anyone brought to book. They've not been named and shamed. We've seen where some people said they are repented terrorists and integrated into the society and all of that. If you have these statistics of 81%, that's on the high side.
It is.
It's on the high side. That percentage is high.
No, I think what the government is saying is that terror-related deaths are reduced by 81%, which on the surface sounds great. I mean, if you had it at 100% before now, and government says between 2015 and today, which is some 10, 11 year
okay, it has
period.
Reduced to
exactly, that's the context. Yes,
19% is off.
Exactly, which means that we are 19% to go. We have been able to deal with the issue 81%. Right. Again, like I said, these are not
19% left.
Yes,
that's great.
Which is exactly. These are not figures that Global Television has independently verified. Of course, they are coming from the pages of newspaper. But we're saying that should the government ordinarily, without the U.S. prompting it, or if you like, jolting
wait until now.
Exactly, to be doing all of this.
These are some of the questions Nigerians are asking. The way you're asking now.
Right.
So also a lot of Nigerians who have seen this or heard us this morning also ask questions. What would have happened if not that the U.S. had made this statement, the president, and a lot of videos coming out? That's one thing that I even deduce from this whole scenario is the fact that the world is monitoring all this while. We're just hearing from United States now. What about other countries that may also be monitoring the situation?
Right.
The most important thing is not, for me, it's not even about the Christian genocide or what. Every single life of every Nigerian matters.
Right.
Until we get to that point, let's don't play religion with this thing at all. If there is need for collaboration, why not? There is no country, even the United States, they can also ask for collaboration from countries.
Exactly.
It might not be in terrorism, but in other ways, it could be in trade. It could be in any other thing. So it's not a bad idea if we say this is our problem and somebody said, all right, we've discovered that this thing is becoming too much and something needs to be done. And if A or B is not done, maybe we might not have any choice than to apply C to ensure that this situation is arrested, because we feel the blood of Nigerians actually matters. The life of every Nigerian matters.
Right.
So if we've been able to deal with it 81%, as it's been said on the pages of the newspaper, even though we haven't verified that, then the remaining 19 shouldn't be a big deal. But why now? That's the question.
Why now? Well, in the voice of Mawumi, if you ask me.
Now who I go ask.
Right. Okay, so let's move on with the Nigerian News Direct newspaper, still on the front page of it. Here, one with a picture of the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Olayemi Cardoso. It says banks flood CBN with a record 4.8 trillion naira as liquidity gluts deepens. UK declares Borno, Yobe, Zamfara, others as unsafe to visit. Opposition kicks as Soludo re-elected Anambra governor in landslide victory. 3 riders there. Soludo vows bigger achievements after re-election. APC candidate alleges votes buying. Tinubu, Abga, Keyamo, Abiodun, others celebrate governor's re-election victory. Those are the headlines for which you need to read details from the Nigerian News Direct. Let's take you now to the Nation newspaper.
All All right, let's quickly look at the Nation's newspaper and see the headlines that we have on the Nation's newspaper. Just above the nameplate, plots to take over Nest Oil, Nekonde's interest in OML 42 unraveled. Then we have this one, which says Senator Nwoko actress wife Regina, marital crisis gets messier. That's not speaking well at all. All right. Now the big story this morning. The big story says, my victory means elections getting better, says Soludo. My victory means elections getting better, says Soludo. If you want to know why he has said that, pick a copy of the Nation's newspaper. Tinubu, his re-election, testament to visionary leadership. Governors hail deserved victory. Those are the headline, the writers to the big story on the Nation's newspaper this morning. You can see the result right there, the final tally. You can see it right there. If you're interested, you can pick a copy of the Nation's newspaper to see how the tally goes for APGA, APC, YPP, Labour Party, and ADC. All right, our federal government to list 1 trillion naira real estate funding on NGX. One writer to that story, and the writer says a single-digit mortgage to close housing gap coming. All right. And of course, which other headline do we have? This one says how to attain multi-trillion naira economy by Agbakoba. Then finally, all right, this is not the final. One more before we get to the final. This is about sport. World Cup playoff. Eagles Rabat can bubbles. All we are saying, give us this victory because we really need it. Super Eagles. Finally, from the Nation's newspaper, PDP crisis throws Ekiti governorship primary won by Oluyede into storm. Details you can find on page 5 of the Nation's newspaper. That's the size of the headlines from the Nation's newspaper this morning.
All right, let's look at the last paper for you. That will be the Daily Trust newspaper. All right, on the Daily Trust newspaper, big one says genocide claim. That's a kicker. FG silent on Amupiton's legal brief. The writer says we are not aware that's credited to the Senate. All right. What's more, Anambra LP ADC candidates rejects results as Soludo re-elected. Trump threats, stock market loss hits 2.8 trillion. That's quite a sad tale to tell. Protest in Kogi community over bandits attack. Those are the headlines we have for you from the Daily Trust today. And incidentally, that's where we're ending it with the paper. Just a quick reminder that all of the headlines that we bring to you here across all the dailies are exactly as published by their respective publishers. Global Television, as a broadcast entity, or the team here on Global Morning, does not in any way contribute to them. We'll take a break now. When we return, it will be Ogochukwu Mobuno bringing you Social Pulse. is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Good morning, viewers, and good morning, the Global Morning crew. I am August Kumobno, and this is Social Buzz here on Global Morning. Social Buzz is a show where we'll bring you the latest happening on social media, social trends going on social media, and we're just going to pick in just one for today and for the sake of time. All right, Kano residents protest against foreign interference. Thousands of residents in Kano State poured into the streets in protest, voicing their anger over recent remarks by the U.S. President Donald Trump about the killings of Christians in Nigeria. The demonstrators accused Trump and the U.S. of attempting to sow discord and destabilize the country, calling on the Nigerian government to defend the nation's sovereignty against what they described as foreign interference. These bandits are our sons, brothers, fathers, Shiite Northern Islamic leaders urge protesters, burning American flags as they lead massive protests against Donald Trump, the U.S. military intervention in Nigeria to stop the ongoing Christian genocide in Nigeria. Well, we're going to be taking a few comments from social media as regards this particular topic. And first comment is coming from Beno C. And Beno C said, in the end, we will all come to the immutable truth that Nigeria cannot continue to be one indivisible country. The second comment is coming from Official God Gentle, and Official God Gentle says, Trump only told Tinubu to fix the insecurities in Nigeria or else he will come fix it, and now they have gone to mobilize their people to protest against Trump's intervention. God help this country. Indeed, God help Nigeria. Well, after the revelation about Trump's coming to intervene in terrorism attack in Nigeria, there's been a lot of unrest in the country, also following some lists that were released, saying that these people are allegedly one of the people sponsoring terrorism in Nigeria, and everyone has actually been tweeting. It's been buzzing. Social media, I must tell you, since 2 weeks now, it has been buzzing. It's all about two main stories. I know you know the other one concerning violence, domestic violence, why this one remains top-notch, because it is a national issue. Well, I'm not alone today in the studio. I have with me Uyi Agbomofwegwe. Good morning, Uyi.
Good morning, Ogo Chukumobo. I hope you had a great weekend.
I wish I did. All right, so Uyi, I'm sure you must have been following it. It is everywhere on the paper, in the news, everyone on the streets too. You get to hear things like this. Even some person that you don't even think they know about it, they've heard about it because it's everywhere on social media and people use their phone. So, it's quite disturbing because I feel like, why are we even protesting? This is my own angle. What are we protesting against? People who are protesting says they do not want Trump to come to Nigeria to help out fight terrorism because they have their own, reasons. And one of the reasons most people say is because it's going to bring like a distortion to Nigeria. It's also going to give an avenue to the Americans to steal the resources of Nigeria. And like I always say, I say the resources, how many of us are really benefiting from it? I have to be very truthful in this case, but everyone with their opinion. So Uyi, what do you say about this? The protest in Kano State.
All right, first of all, so you are a landlord, right? You live in a house. Let's say it's a 5-bedroom house, bungalow, whatever it is, right? So the company supplying your energy, let's say in this case, AEDC in Abuja, brings your monthly bill, assuming you were not using prepaid meter. And then your children, all 5 or 6 of them, come out and start making trouble with the officials from the power distribution company, right? Does that resolve the issue? No, it doesn't. Because the real issue is that you are indebted. You have used a particular service. And now the service provider says you've got to pay. So the question is, how do we resolve? You may not even have the money to pay, but there's a better approach to resolving that issue. Now, in the case of Nigeria, no matter where you protest from, I mean, anywhere in the country, whether from the south or from the north, it's not going to answer the issue. What Nigeria is dealing with is beyond protest. It's not a social issue amongst us, all right? It's not a case of protesting against an agency of government. It is beyond even Africa, right? It is an issue between Nigeria and the United States. I mean, Ogochukwu, you and I were here last week when the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Tuga, said that, look, Nigeria has opened or is opening diplomatic and political channels, all right, to begin to engage the United States authorities. That's how it works. It's not by protest. The U.S. is not seeing your protests. I'm sorry, but that's what it is. It's not seeing your protests. These are issues that are bigger than just protesting. I mean, a while ago, myself and Ramsey were talking based on the headlines from newspaper pages, talking about how that, well, we have fought insurgency-related or terror-related deaths by 81%. Ordinarily, that's a distinction if we were to scores. But the question is, how authentic are those figures? And assuming, for example, those figures were authentic, would Nigerians get to know of them if the U.S. had not threatened to intervene militarily in our own country? Yes, I have heard people say Nigeria is a sovereign state, which is the fact, which is the reality. But the question is, have we been responsible? Have we been responsive? Have we been proactive enough to have dealt with these issues? If we had, the U.S. will have no business coming to our soil to tell us how to lead ourselves. Because what the U.S. is telling us by virtue of this action is that you can't look after yourselves. You can't take care of yourselves. You can't deal with your own problems. Therefore, you desperately need help. And we are not going to ask for your permission to help you.
As it is right now.
Right.
All right. You know, I just like the way you come in with the proverb. It only takes a man of wisdom to do that. Anyways, thank you so much, Uyi, because, you know, this is actually beyond just protest, like you said, honestly. Burning of the U.S. flag or doing burning of the Trump's picture is not even going to make him born where it is right now. So I think diplomatic talks can only help. And just like you brought up, you know, the Foreign Affairs Minister, you know, Tuga, talking about diplomatic discussions that could bring help and make sure that we know how we are going about this. Also, you also raised a salient point when you said that, do we even know that we have these figures, these particular rates? Do we know that we've worked like this? And how true is that figure? Because maybe they might just bring up figures just because of these traits. You know, anything can happen. Nigerians right now really have little or no trust for the government, and which is not a good one for us. But I hope that peace will be restored back to the north and every part of Nigeria, because it's not just in the north. In the south, we hear of kidnappings, and it's really outrageous right now. So I'm hoping that they get to do this fast and make it, you know, possible that we all have peace in our homes. Thank you so much, Uyi Agbomogbolo, once again for your contribution to Social Buzz. Always, anytime I call on you, you're always there. Thank you so much. All right, that's all we have for you today on Social Buzz here on Global Morning. I am Ogochukwu Mobno. Until I come your way next time, to stay with us as Global Morning continues.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
You know, quite frankly, we were talking a while ago, Ramsey and I, about this issue of insecurity, and then Ogochukwu also was mentioning something around her focus on Social Boss today is about the protests against Donald Trump and the United States stance in terms of military intervention in Nigeria's insecurity challenge. But you see, Ramsey, I strongly believe that one of the things we need to disabuse our minds about is the religion element, or the element of religion in it. For example, there had been election in Anambra State yesterday, and we've seen elections across this country over time. When you go to vote, nobody asks you, in the case of Anambra, for example, since we know it's a Christian-dominated state, are you a Catholic? Are you an Anglican? Are you a Baptist? Are you a Pentecostal? Nobody is going to ask you that. It's just your PVC, and then due process is followed. You cast your vote to your preferred candidate or political party, and then you go home. If you were voting in the north, I'm not sure anybody is going to ask you, are you, what kind of Muslim are you? Or are you this? Or nobody is going to ask, because they are not relevant. And nobody is going to be able to deliver the dividends of democracy as a president or governor because you are a Muslim or because you are a Christian. You are only going to do that because, first of all, you have the overall interest of your people at heart. And then second, you have the capacity to deliver on that level. You know, somebody said in the course of this week, while we're also having this conversation around the US, Nigeria, you know, about insecurity, that look, if we do not handle this issue of religion very carefully in Nigeria, we'll be hurting ourselves far, far more than we can realize. Because as it stands right now, we're looking at people who are losing their lives. We're looking at people who are losing billions in terms of their business they're doing. We're looking at people who are getting divided on the basis of religion. So again, it comes down to government. Had the government done its part long before today, would we be here? The answer is a capital letter no. However, I think we should stop running around this mountain longer than is necessary. What should we be doing at this point as a country to address all of these issues? Is to first of all remind the government that it has said it is opening diplomatic and political channels to engage the US. First, has that already started? Are we in that process already? If we're in that process, has it changed the stance of the US? Because as of last week, news had it very authoritatively that the United States defense and military authorities were already drawing up a plan of intervention in Nigeria. Have we made efforts to reverse that position or to stall that proposition in such a way that we are not going to wake up one morning and next thing you hear that the US is already on the ground in our country?
Well, the issue is, I think, is becoming too obvious, right, that some Nigerians don't really know what they are doing. You know, most times we blame the government. I'm beginning from the issue of the protest.
Right.
Most times we blame the government. But you allow yourself to be used by whoever, I don't know whoever that sent the people out for that protest. But someone told me something. He said the day that Nigerians will cast their vote based on individuals' capacity and integrity as against religion, tribe, tongue, region, then we can say we are now on the right trajectory. Take for instance, I think somebody told me something over the weekend. He said that protest is one protest that was seamless. There was no tear gassing. That's another protest that did not have announcement, you know, a warning that we are going to strike. And that's one other protest that do not have a counter-protester. I don't know if you remember.
Right.
When we had people who are saying, well, you see people protesting and you see the other people protesting against the whatever reason the other people are protesting.
Right.
Now, let's come to the truth now. We were talking about it a few minutes ago. Nigeria as a nation, as a sovereign state, have the capacity and the responsibility to protect the life of their citizens and the properties of her citizens. But this is something that we are not seeing. Nigerians are crying, and we'll keep saying it. It is not about religion. The life of every single Muslim, even if it is a child, it matters. You know, my pastor said something yesterday. He said, you need to see how consultants, senior doctors struggle to save the life of a day-old baby. Not to talk about the life of one Christian or Muslim's life.
Someone in whose life so much of investment has been made.
Been made already. So that's to tell you of how important every life, how much every life matters. So it's like attention is being taken from the real thing, and people are pursuing a vain thing that does not really matter in this situation.
It's quite sad.
But the truth is this: where are we? Even I think until yesterday, we still saw people fleeing their houses because of banditry. Someone was just talking to me a few minutes ago, all right, after our first segment before Social Boss came in, of how they in their family have contributed money to pay ransom for their loved ones that were kidnapped. The situation is so bad that even after paying this ransom, some of these people never returned. It is so bad that the impact and the effect and the implication of all this drama is affecting every single Nigerian. How? We've been talking about food security. People can't go to farm. People can't go to... Do you know that this 2025, some people didn't even know when it was harvest season? Because the price of food in the market remained the same or keep climbing. There is still belief that there is a drop in the price of food items in the market, staple food. But is it coming from the farm? Did those food come from the farm? It is a good thing that the price of staple food is reducing.
Right.
But the natural food from our farm is more healthier. And if the people keep going to the farm and we have enough food, it will still contribute to the economic growth that we are clamoring for. So I think what the government should be doing, the president spoke. His reaction is, we are going to fight terrorism. We are ready. We are fighting terrorism, and we will forever fight terrorism. All right? Contrary to what a lot of people are saying, please, I don't want Nigerians' attention to be divided. A lot of Muslims are praying seriously for Nigeria day and night.
Right.
A lot of Christians are doing the same. Other religions are doing the same thing. You understand? So some people are of the school of thought that, well, maybe the God that these different religions have been praying to is in a way trying to answer the prayer by identifying, by these other countries identify that there is a problem in the country. But we have a very capable president. We have very capable service chiefs, and our security men are very, very, very combatant. They are very, very good, intelligent-wise. So let's all work towards what the president have said, that for insecurity in Nigeria is a no-no, and that Nigeria is ready to fight terrorism to the last drop of its blood.
Right, that's a great way to put it, Ramsey. Thank you so very much. But again, we will keep our eye out and ensure that we continue to follow all of these developments for you as they unfold. Let's take a quick break. When we return, to be time to put our first conversation on the road for you. Do stay with us. Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Thank you so very much, everyone, for joining us here. For this first conversation we're having, focusing on what happened this last weekend in Anambra State, where there had been a governorship election, and today we understand that a winner has ultimately been announced. But you know how it usually is the case in Nigeria. Announcement of a winner does not automatically bring closure to an election. You have those, especially from the opposition front, who would raise concerns, raise the dust, highlight irregularities, in most cases valid ones. But we also want to look at the impact or the implications of all of these developments following the election in that state on our electoral process, how it has become, even though it's an off-cycle election, the basis for us to rethink our electoral process and what more we need to do in order to fix it. I'm joined by James Ugochukwu, who is the Regional General Secretary, West African Society, Civil Society Forum. I'd like to say a big thank you to you, James, for coming on the program.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
All right. I know you were not physically in Anambra, but of course you have followed the process leading up to the polls itself. Was there anything that came as a surprise to you?
There's nothing very surprising, except that we have the winning party sweeping the whole 21 local governments. So it calls to question if the other people actually prepared at all, for the election. But by and large, we all know that Anambra State always have their focus on APGA as a political party since the past 16 years now, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
And I wasn't surprised that the election came the way it is. And another surprising thing for me was the voters' turnout, actually, because the last time the turnout was about 10.6%, which is far, far below national average. And you know, Anambra has a population of about 4-something million people.
Right.
And during this election, we have a serious turnout up to 21%, about 500-something thousand, which is about 21% of the total registered voters of 2-something million.
Right.
So I think it's a good omen that they are warming up and removing voters apathy and all that. So I hope that maybe towards other election that is coming up, both in the State House of Assembly, National Assembly, and of course presidential in 2027, we may likely have better voter turnout than what we have now. Because Anambra is known for voter apathy, being a state that people almost are not interested in governance, given their entrepreneurial tendency. They focus more on their business more than anything. But from what we learn now, people are getting interested in politics. At least we'll have more people contesting this time around, including a female contestant. And we are hoping that their victory will now, the vote she has garnered so far will encourage that woman to come up to vie for elective position. Of course, we have strong women in Anambra, the likes of Stella Odua, the likes of Kunife. These are strong female political juggernauts that even the aspiring female politicians can look up to.
Right. But let's look at some of the issues that played out before the election across the political divide, whether from the APGA camp or at the opposition front. Did you see those issues rubbing off on the election in any case? Because there were those who talked about how that, well, you mentioned that too, that Anambra is traditionally an APGA state. Others said, well, the APC or one of these other parties could just flip that tradition and things like that. Then there was also issues about the governor not delivering on his electionary campaign from 4 years ago. Did those sentiments play into the election?
Well, the thing is, we look at the metrics or the indices you can use to measure performance.
Right.
For instance, so now a performing governor that wants to vote should be looking at the demography of people that are going to give him or her the vote. So if you treat the demography very well, you're likely going to win. You understand? So Nigerians are sentimental voters, right? They vote according to who, benefited them in the previous year in question. Now, as it is now, some people will say, okay, Soludo performed very well. Some people will say they didn't perform very well. Like civil servant will not share that sentiment that he performed very well, that he didn't perform very well. I want that to say. Then some criminals now that he went after, that he was destroying their camps and with his new security outfit, they will not say he performed very well. Then the tax system that he brought in place, which is a more transparent and decentralized system, a lot of people will not be happy with it, especially those that collect taxes from behind. So it's neither here or there, but it's all about appealing to the right demography and doing your best campaign to ensure that you reach out to all those people. Then again, you cap it out to what I keep on saying. Anambra is an APGA state, and it will take any APGA governor to be abysmally poor in performance for any party to come and upstage them in that kind of setting.
Interesting. There is this also the issue of concerns around vote buying and then uneven distribution of security personnel. There had been a, well, if you like, call it press kind of interaction where even the CDD itself, had talked about how that security personnel had not been evenly distributed. That could also have adverse implication on the process and its outcome. Does that point to or indicate any level of unpreparedness?
Well, when it comes to security, we always be hearing the security organizations or agencies telling you that they've deployed 1 million security operatives during the election, and by the time you get to the field, you discover that what you are seeing is far different from the claim. The reality is completely different from the claim, and you keep asking yourself, where are the security operatives? Is it that they are not equally distributed, or they are not even deployed in the first place? So these are the tracking that security tracking organizations should start paying attention to. But by and large, I think why should we even be policing our election in the first place? In other part of the world, and even in Africa here, on election day, you go to polling unit and vote and all that. But because we have a do or die system and the winner takes it all, the stake becomes very high, and a lot of people keep on working towards sabotaging the efforts of the election through any violent means. On a good day, we shouldn't be needing security operatives. But again, another reason I think they could have deployed security operatives could be because of the activity of agitators, separatist agitators. Last time, the IPOB and the like were accused of trying to sabotage the process, and during that time we happen to have even people that are hiding under the IPOB agitation to be committing crime, in terms of even using it as a political score and all that. You can remember on the build-up to the last election, the husband of the late
Dora Akunyili
was killed. So the question we're asking is he a politician? The answer is no, he's not a politician.
Right. He
was going to collect award on a posthumous award on behalf of
his late wife
when he was killed. So you can theoretically or allegedly say that maybe the people that the wife annoyed during her clampdown on fake drug could be carrying out vendetta. So those are the kind of scenario that were painted during that kind of during the last election, to the point that even when we went to election that time, wanted to pull out from observing the election because the tension was so high. Okay, on one hand, the IPOB is saying that any person that wants to do election, that they are not interested in Nigerian election, because those ones, they don't see themselves
as Nigerians,
so that they are not interested, and they are not interested in disrupting the election. On the other hand, you see some group, so there are counter narratives everywhere. So that one likely made the security operative this time around to deploy more security men to the the election. In fact, I saw a video of area surveillance by the Nigerian police on a helicopter, flying around the whole city trying to secure the election. But the point I'm making here is that 60,000 or 45,000 policemen, that's a huge lot. I think we have enough security challenges in Nigeria that such large number of people should be sent to take care of, instead of one less than 8 hours election in one particular state. So the security operative should be able to read the handwriting on the wall, to read the election security scenario, because there are a lot of organizations that gives feedback around this. So when they study it very well, then it will help them to know the exact hot spots to target and the intervention they should put in, instead of deploying such large number of people. Because this large number of people are deploying, we're talking about accommodating them, their welfare in terms of feeding, their remuneration and all that. That's huge sums of money that can be channeled to something else.
Were you again disappointed when you hear about the phenomenon of vote buying that also was alleged to have played out in this election?
Vote buying. Sure, vote buying becoming a national disgrace. Actually, it's becoming a national disgrace in the sense that what happened in Anambra is even uncalled for. It's the same Anambra that in the last election, the women of a Benebe community they refused to vote buying. They kicked against vote buying. Some party brought vote gift for them to share money and all that. And they told them, say, look, go away. The last time you gave us money and you promised you are going to do one or two things and you didn't come. So some women in that community, they rejected it. And in the build up to this election, I was even telling somebody that a number of people, they will not even listen to you if you bring your money for vote and everything. I was surprised that they descended so low that their vote can be bought with one can of malt and one sausage roll and 500 naira. The vote was that cheap, like that. From that amount, from 500 naira to 30,000 naira, that's what I learned that they were sharing. And almost all the parties involved in the election were involved in this vote buying phenomenon. And it's so shameful and it's so disappointing that we have a political class that are now bringing vote buying as a culture in our political system. And the way it is a big view to what is going to happen in 2027, which means that vote buying is going to shape the choice of the people largely if enough sensitization is not being carried out as it is now. Because what the citizens don't know is that immediately you sell your vote, you sell your voice, and you will not be able to hold whoever is getting into the government accountable. And the politicians know this, because once they give you money, then you have been bought off. In the next 4 years, don't ask me what I do with the vote I've bought. And again, the money the person is giving you are not asking yourself, where did the person get the money from? If he borrowed the money, he's going to pay back. If the person brought it from his own personal account, he's going to replace the money. If he took it from government coffers, the person has taken the money supposed to use in development and share it to you guys for nothing. So I think it's a shameful thing, and I'm hoping that in the build-up to the 2027 election, we'll carry out enough sensitization to, enlighten people on the dangers of selling their votes.
Who do we hold accountable for this issue of selling votes? Is it the political class? Is it INEC? Is it security agencies? Or is it the people? I'm asking that because in the build-up to the election, while campaign was still very intense, Governor Soludo himself, then the candidate of APGA, was said to have told some people during one of their rallies that, look, 1 million for so-and-so or local government or ward, 3 million or 5 million for so-and-so local government or ward. I mean, he was promising monetary commitments at that point. Some persons have now interpreted as to be some subtle approach to vote buying. Can we say the political class should altogether be held accountable?
I think the utterance or statement by Soludo is not a subtle approach to vote buying. It's outright to vote buying. Because in line with the Electoral Act, it's an offense to carry out voters' inducement. But he enjoys immunity. He said 10 years elapses by March next year, and he's still handing over to himself. So he can enjoy that kind of immunity. But all the people that help him to carry out vote buying, they've committed offense. Even himself, if he's in a sane climb, after it's done, he can actually be prosecuted for vote buying. Vote buying is expressly condemned in our Electoral Act, and it stays condemned. You understand? So the political class, they use this particular vote buying scenario as a weapon, because what they do is to impoverish the people, and weaponize poverty and ignorance. They make it look as if it's normal. That is the place of ignorance. It makes it look as if it's normal for them to buy vote. And they make life difficult for the people through their policies, to ensure that at the end of the day, when they dangle 500 naira before them, it looks like as if it's a big money. Because there are some people who cannot buy their vote with even 50 million naira because they are well-to-do materially or financially and all that. So you blame the political party for this. You also blame the security agencies that at the end of the day, they will see vote buying. At the end of the day, they will not make any arrests. Although I learned that the FCC was in the field during this election, and I hope that they are going to arrest as many people as possible. And not only arresting, prosecuting them to serve as deterrent for other people. Because I was that video of malt, the sharing of malt and sausage roll and 500 naira. That kind of thing, the FCC should, as a matter of urgency now, start looking for those that engage in that thing. Their faces and everything is there. They're supposed to arrest them. You can absorb INEC from this. INEC will not tell you to buy a vote or not buy a vote. So there's nothing INEC can do about this. INEC's job is to conduct election, which is they are doing. So the security agencies, the political party, the people themselves, because the 500 naira, now if you don't collect that 500 naira, what will happen? You will not die of hunger or anything. But the more you don't collect it, the more they respect your choice, because they know that, yes, these people are not compromising. And next time, they'll be very serious with any developmental issue that concerns you. But if you have sold your vote, even you yourself, you don't have any guts to go and ask questions when these people are in the government.
All right. Let's take a quick break at this point, everyone. There's a second part of this conversation coming up shortly. We'll look at INEC as the umpire, especially now under the leadership of Professor Josh Amoputo. Please stay with us. Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and international.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Now to look at INEC as the umpire of Nigerian elections. James, I want us to look at INEC in this election right now. Professor Amukbito had made a lot of promises right from the day he got craned by the Senate. And he also, amongst other things, had said that, look, under his leadership, elections will not end in litigation. INEC will indeed be the umpire. If you were to rank him on the basis of what we are seeing in Anambra right now, what would be your assessment?
Well, I don't want to go into that because he's just coming in. You know, he came in some...
It's too early to call results.
2 weeks or so before
the election.
Before the election.
Right.
So it would be unfair to be using
Anambra
to be giving him praises or to be using it to condemn him in any way, because I can say that he's not very much involved in the preparation for Anambra election. But by and large, I think the Anambra election, like I said before, in terms of administration of the election now, I think INEC scored very high this time around, even though they still had the problem of early deployment. But the deployment of the opening of polls and all that was just within an average of 10 minutes past 9 o'clock, sorry, against 8:30 that the polls supposed to open.
Right.
This is what INEC should be looking at, because for just one single off-cycle election, you are still having problem of deploying men and materials to the polling units as at when it's supposed to open. So it's a thing of concern for me. And if you look at it, we are looking at a day that on election day, almost everywhere is going to be shut down. There'll be no movement of people everywhere. The road is very clear. And most of this material I'm talking about are in where INEC calls Superak. So just to move it from there, less than 5 kilometers, maximum 7 kilometers to the nearest polling unit. Then what is the problem? So it's not enough for the INEC chairman to say everything is going to be top notch. He's going to study exactly how INEC works, because INEC is an institution entirely on this. So it's a university that you need to sit down and study how it works before you start making statement that is going to be used against him. You need to work with the resident electoral commissioners, because it's enough for him to make directive. Are they going to carry it to the letter? So if they don't carry it to the letter, how is he going to respond to that in terms of punitive measures and all those things? So these are the things that we should be looking at. But by and large, I think his good intention is fine, and we share in his optimism that everything is going to work well. That's what matters a lot, because all the other leadership of INEC will be looking up to him to see how far he's going to carry out his good intention and his optimism, how serious he is about it in terms of implementation, because that his statement is going to be tested by the system and the people he's working with and other stakeholders. So how firm is he going to be in terms of resolving to do the right thing and ensuring that the right thing is done? So these are the things that we should be looking at in the coming months and years.
We are hearing that there is a review of the Electoral Act 2022 already ongoing at the level of the Senate and all of that. What are some issues you think, I mean, if you had your way, should be critically considered in terms of reviewing and amending that act?
Well, there are a lot of issues of concern, but for me, I think the issue of electronic election management system need to be put in place, even though we may not have a pilot approach to it, but let it be a legislation that at least the RF portal we have today now, if we can take it further from being just an ordinary result viewing portal to a computation portal, to help a lot. Because as you can see now, the technology that the past INEC administration brought to put in place, which is electronic management of several result collation processes, has helped in reducing the incident of result hijack. You know, before, after collection of results, you know, result will be taken physically to the the collation center from the polling unit.
Right.
But right now, we have every from ECATA being snapped and uploaded in the RF portal. So you that is going to waylay them to snatch it or all that, you are wasting your time because the result has already gone to where everybody is seeing it. But you want to take it. We would like the National Assembly to make it a legislation and that yes, people can see the computation of the result on the RF portal as they are keying it in, is computing it so that people will know the exact computation, because electronic computation has almost next to zero error if nobody is tampering with it like hackers.
Right.
The another one should be looking at again that could be a good legislation is electronic voting. Although some people say it's not possible, that nobody is doing it in the other part of the world. The fact that they are not doing it in other part of the world does not imply that we cannot start to practice it and even being the first pioneer of electronic voting, because this will help the new generation to be interested in the voting. Just take for instance most of this TV program that involves voting. Most of this new generation, before you know it, they will vote. They will vote massively, up to 100 million, which is even more than what we get in our general election. So these guys are ready to vote, but all the factors that their parents are put in place, which is thuggery, election violence and everything, it's debars them from going to the polls to vote. Another issue that I would love them to also put in the legislation is that of continuous voters registration. Continuous voter registration as it is now is not continuous in the real sense of the word. So they need to make it a point of legislation to ensure that every single Nigerian that turned 18 can walk into an INEC office anywhere, any day, and get registered to vote. Not that we have a special period open for voting. It doesn't make sense as far as I'm concerned. So if they can make it as a legislation, that's fine. Or if they can see a way they can rope in the National Identity Management System and voter registration or voter, they can merge both of them together so that during election you can merge those data together and get people to vote. That will help.
I'd like to say a big thank you to you, James Ugochukwu, for coming to share with us this morning. We appreciate your insights. And that's what we're leaving it with this conversation. Shortly, when we return, Ramsey will engage a legal practitioner from an international law standpoint on what the implications are of the U.S. threats to intervene militarily in Nigeria's insecurity challenge. Do stay with us. Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and international.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and international.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
The state of Nigerian situation right now, as it has to do with insecurity, is so alarming. And of course, Nigerians have said so many things reacting to the statement that came from the President of the United States. Every individual is saying something. Politicians are speaking. As a matter of fact, Nigerians have set the social media on fire as it has to do with that statement from the President of the United States. But then, from the place of the law, as a matter of fact, some persons will tell you Nigeria is a sovereign state. And of course, such statements shouldn't be made. But the statement that was made is being misinterpreted by a lot of people. Today, we'll have a legal practitioner with whom we are going to be looking at the legal implication, just the legal perspective to that statement coming from the President of the United States in the person of Donald Trump. And joining me on the conversation is Barrister Victor Giwa, a legal practitioner. It's good to have you join us on the program this morning.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yes, you're welcome. Let's get into the conversation. A lot of people have misinterpreted or reacted to the statement that came from the President of the United States. Want to look at the legal perspective to the whole scenario, because the law, okay, needs to be looked at first. So now, what is the perspective of the law, or how do you see that statement coming from the President of the United States?
Okay, thank you very much. Well, it's not majorly a legal issue. It's more of a military and a state action, so to speak. A state. I understand the fact that you're looking at the legal implication. You mentioned the issue of sovereignty. You mentioned the issue of how Nigerians have interpreted it. But let me start from the law, like you really said. A lot of people, including officials of government, have made and non-officials of government, private persons, lawyers have also made their voices known on some of these issues. But the fact is that we have to look at it on some areas like the Constitution. People have said, no, the President of the United States cannot invade Nigeria. Or people have said, oh, Nigeria is a sovereign state. People have made a lot of, comments on that. But let me just analyze it and put it in perspective and try to see how our audience can make sense out of it. Firstly, Nigeria is a sovereign state. That is correct. That is for a given. However, we need to also understand what is sovereignty. So everybody says, oh, Nigeria is a sovereign state. Nigeria is a sovereign state. What is sovereignty? But what sovereignty is has also been defined by the Constitution, the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And the provision of the Constitution that deals with sovereignty is in Section 14, Sub 2, Paragraph A. He said, sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom government, through the Constitution, derives all its power and authority. I don't know if I can come again. He said, sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom government, through the Constitution, derives all its power and authority. Question, where does sovereignty belong? Constitution says sovereignty belongs to the people. Question, who did Donald Trump say he's going to, what did Donald Trump say he's going to do? He said he is going to intervene in the issue of killings of Nigerian Christians, not American Christians, not Ghanaian Christians, not Canadian Christians, Nigerian Christians who, according to him, their lives are in danger. Danger of who? Of people he believed to be terrorists or Islamic terrorists. The other angle is, if Nigerian Christians are people of Nigeria, will you then say, if the President of America says he wants to assist in protecting Nigerian Christian people, will you say it's interfering with the sovereignty of Nigeria? I mean, I'm just asking. I want people to make sense. If the Constitution says sovereignty belongs to the people, the Christian people Donald Trump is making reference to, are they people of Nigeria? If they are, it means, therefore, that the act of the proposed action of the President of America to protect Nigerian Christians from wholesome killings is, to say the least, protection of the sovereign people of Nigeria. Now, a lot of people have misinterpreted Donald Trump's statements, comments, and intervention. If you listen to the media, I think I didn't hear that from you, but I've been to different TV stations within the past few days. And you hear that, oh, Donald Trump want to invade Nigeria. Oh, US want to invade Nigeria.
You want to attack.
You want to, that is misconception. There's a difference between invading Nigeria or invading a country and intervening in a country. Now, what is the difference? I've seen it everywhere. Nigeria, US want to invade Nigeria. Oh, Nigeria, US should not invade Nigeria. No. What is the difference? When you invade a country, it is the output or it is the outcome that gives the definition of invasion. When you invade a country, you achieved one of three things. One, you invade a country to intervene with the government of that country. You invade a country to subvert the government, to bring in a new government, for a change of government. America invaded Iraq to remove Saddam Hussein. That is an invasion. Did you get that? US invaded Libya to remove Gaddafi. That is an invasion. So you invade to either for change of government, you invade to subvert the activities of government, you invade maybe to take a particular hostage, or to take some persons or group of persons in the country, out of the country you invade. There is an intervention different from invasion. So you intervene to give effect, to assist the government, the state government, to achieve its own objective. For example, when American president says some Islamic terrorists are killing Christians, I don't think the government of Nigeria is a friend to Islamic terrorists. As a matter of fact, some of the intergovernment ties between Nigeria and other countries, including America, is to help provide arms and training for the attack and the protection of Nigeria territorial integrity against terrorism, because the issue of terrorism is a global phenomenon. So the Nigerian government has asked for aids from countries like United States for training of the Nigerian military to fight the insurgent. So if the government now says that, I want to intervene to assist you in that fight against that terrorist organization, could you now say that that is an invasion? So, and that is the point I'm making. That the government is saying, and it was conditional. Killings, Nigerian Christians are being killed. Nigerian Christians are under serious attack. If the government of Nigeria cannot take a step to protect Christians in Nigeria, America will need to do that, to protect, gun blazing, blah, blah, blah. It's telling you that if you cannot do it, we will assist you in doing it. Not coming to kill Christians, Nigerian Christians, coming to protect Nigerian Christians, coming to attack those enemies of the state. Like I said it in one other program, I said, terrorists, whether it is Islamic terrorists or whatever name it is being labeled, terrorists are not friends of the state. They are not friends of the Nigerian government. They are not friends of the Muslim. They are not friends of the Christian. So if we agree that terrorists are enemies of the state, if we agree that terrorists are enemies of the Christians, if we agree that terrorists are enemies of the Muslim, so if American says that they are coming to assist in fighting the terrorists, then what then is the qualms? So that is the point. So firstly, sovereignty belongs to the people. Donald Trump's intervention is to protect the Christian people. So I don't see any form of intervention into Nigerian sovereignty. And they have given proper notice. And let me tell you, before America does anything, most often they must get the consent of the government before they take such action. So that is the much I can say on that.
Oh, all right. A lot of people, a lot of Nigerians, like you have rightly, I think the definition of a sovereign state and, of course, your perspective to the whole situation now will give a lot of people an eye-opener. From what I've deduced from your explanation, it means if there are terrorists already in Nigeria killing either Christian or Muslim or pagans, if they are not friends of the government and the Christians or the Muslims, they should be taken away. That's what I feel. That's what I deduce from what you've said. Now, what do you expect Nigerian government to do in a situation like this so that, number one, it doesn't affect the relationship, all right, between Nigeria and other countries? Because we've heard in the papers that some countries are saying they are in defense of Nigeria. Some countries are saying they are in support of what the United States is saying. So rightfully, for everything to be in perspective now, what do you think the Nigerian government should do in your own perspective?
Okay, now, what should the government do? the government should open communication with the government of United States, which I think they've had good, communication and ties between United States. The Nigerian military or the office of the NSA. But you see, the challenge we have is somehow there is issue of credibility between the people of Nigeria and the government of the state. We are also aware that is the office of the NSA that coordinates all military actions. And we have also been aware that is the office of the NSA that is seen to supervise issues of communication, negotiation with bandits and kidnappers who are kidnapping persons. Nigerians are still not at home with the fact that some government officials have seen it as one of its methods of engaging with bandits. We've had people say that, oh, Nigeria government is engaging with bandits, they are negotiating with bandits and all of that. And I don't think it is going on well with the people of Nigeria. Now, the proper thing to do is for the government of Nigeria, through the office, whatever office, I don't want to mention any of the offices, to engage with them. But if there is issue of credibility, which I think there is, because the challenge is this, that I don't think, the challenge is that the government of United States and other governments do not believe that the government of Nigeria is handling the issue of killings of Christians properly, sincerely, and honestly. Because they believe that if the government is actually handling this particular issue very correctly, that the level of killings of Christians shouldn't have been as bad as it is. And I must tell you, the government of the United States has its data. I was listening to a particular station, one of these foreign stations, and one of the anchor persons was saying that they cannot even show the level of killing of Christians in Nigeria on the TV, that it is so bad. I felt so bad. I said, what? She said, no, that she doesn't want to put it on the video, on TV for people to see, that it is bad, that it is not something people should see. And this is not happening in Ghana. It's happening right here in Nigeria. And it means that thousands, you see, it is very unfortunate that you are people like people who are staying in Lekki, in Maitama, in Asukoro, in Lagos, Abuja. We can come on TV to say, oh, we are Christians, we are protected. What of the guys in Yewa in Benue State? What of those guys in Plateau? What of the children? We are talking because we are alive. There are persons who, just because of the fact that they are Christians and they live in a community that is predominantly Christians, people went into the community, bundled them, families, children, burnt them alive, and those that were running away, they were killed and slaughtered, helplessly and hopelessly, without any intervention from government agencies, security agencies. It happened in this country. It is happening. I saw a report that says that every day 35 Christians are killed in Nigeria daily. And these things happen and they are unreported or underreported. Because what we always see on media is PDP against APC, faction of PDP, APC, government going there. Nobody's reporting those people in the villages, and 80% of our population are in the rural areas. So this incident happens and it's unreported. And so these guys have information. And let me tell you why they have information. It is their missionaries that are working within these areas. Christian missionaries from various religious groups, Catholic, Methodist, Pentecostal. They send their missionaries in Africa, and particularly in Nigeria. And they witness, some of them are witnessing these killings. They are getting reports of these killings. So when the government of the United States is speaking, people say, oh, they are interested in the oil, as if oil started in Nigeria yesterday. As if the gold in Nigeria started last week. As if the minerals in Nigeria started 2 weeks ago. As if the oil in Nigeria. And I was asking somebody, if you say, oh, United States is interested in our oil, is our oil in the north? Our oil we're talking about is in this south. They are not talking about terrorists in Bayelsa, in Port Harcourt, in Delta. No. They are saying killings in the north by Islamic terrorists. So how are you connecting? Oh, they're interested in our oil, they're interested in our gold, they're interested in... There's no oil in Bauchi, there's no oil in Boro, right, there's no oil in Benue, there's no oil in Plateau. So how dare you say that, oh, because they're interested in oil? I mean, let's be fair.
All right, barristers, I think there is no better way to have explained all of this. I think Nigerians are getting a better perspective of the whole scenario now.
Yeah, anytime I speak, people will call me and say, oh, God, I now understood what was said. That's the kind of thing
that's it. And that's the reason we always want to have you. We love to have you on our program, especially Ramsey himself. All right. This is the much we would be able to take, but then I would love to have you again for a better explanation, because there are so many questions that I would love to ask, as Nigerians would also want to know the view of a legal practitioner like you and someone who have a foresight into the whole situation. Many thanks for joining us, Barrister.
Thanks so much, and sorry for coming late.
No problem, sir. Thank you. Well, this is going to be the size of the conversation this morning, but then the only thing you would have to do is to keep tab on Global Televisions as we bring you developments on the situation. But then I think the most important thing is, if terrorists, like Barrister said, are not friends of the government, nor the Christians or Muslims alike, then they need to be taken out of the country so that the life of Nigerians would be safe. Many thanks for joining us on Global Morning today. All the views of our guests from the beginning of Global Morning today are entirely theirs. And of course, from the newspaper headlines, every headline is that of the various newspaper houses, and we don't have editorial contribution to those headlines. Many thanks once again for joining us on Global Morning today. My name is Ramsey Enoch Agbo. Bye-bye for now.